everyone. Welcome back to the Anime Iceberg. I'm Megan,
And I'm Meg.
and today we are talking about Dr. Stone, episode 19, To Modernity. And yes, we looked up how to say that word.
Yes, we did. We were really struggling. It doesn't like that doesn't sound right, but anyway. Summary, Tsukasa's army attacks the village. Outmatched by the attackers, they have to rely on wits, cooperation, and science to fend them off. Honestly, I feel like that could explain describe both the last episode and this one.
I guess so. Yeah, you know what? This episode's really just a continuation of the previous confrontation. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're leading up to Stone Wars, so that's an apt description for a
But
lot of the arc.
spoiler.
Oh, we knew that was coming. And this episode covers manga chapters 49 to the present, 50, humanity's greatest weapon. And I think I like to the present better than to modernity.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I
Mod
agree.
modernity leave. Sorry. It sounds like maternity to me.
It does. It does actually. Um, yeah, we don't have anything extra this week. Although this is okay, we did actually just I just thought about this. We did take a week break and we never said why. Um, I was in Colorado on vacation. I'd never been there and it was great. Very beautiful. I spent a lot of time outdoors and I got sunburned every day because I never spend out time outside. Um, and I also my family was sick and they got me sick. So if I don't know if you can hear if my voice is any different. Um, just a little bit. But also I've been having coughing fits, so I'm sorry if you hear that.
And then while she was on vacation, I was moving with my roommates, which was a whole thing. Uh, but we were both busy and just couldn't schedule anything ahead. I guess in terms of other announcements, I have just a small one. I got a Pixiv account, and if you don't know what Pixiv is, it's mainly a manga sharing platform, like a kind of social media, sort of like I don't know, like your what Instagram or I don't know how to describe it exactly, but I am under the username Mangaka Megan. And
Nice.
the first thing I posted was a Haikyuu doujinshi. So just like a cute little 10-page fan comic.
Yeah, I will maybe post that. If you send me that information, I will put it on our Instagram stories.
Hmm.
Yes.
Just be cautious when going on Pixiv. They are known to have some mature art. So just know that I will not be posting any of that. I am all about fluff and not smut, so just veer away from that side of the website.
Yes. Okay. I also only got like 3 hours of sleep last night, so this is gonna be fun. Um, so we get Hyoga's, I was gonna say origin story, but it's more like his stone
Revival.
revival story. Yes, exactly. Okay, that's good. Um,
A thought I had while you're drinking your water here. These people, the people from our time who get turned into stone and then revived, they should celebrate both their birthdays and their revival days.
that's actually a great idea. That'd be fun. That like reminds me a little bit. It would be oh man, I don't I don't remember what the term is, but like the day that you get adopted.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
birthday and adoption day or something.
yeah. Now you can have a birthday and a revival day.
Yeah. If you're Senku, you can have a birthday and adoption day and a revival day.
Yeah. Never have too many celebrations for yourself, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so Tsukasa revives Hyoga and uh the other brawny,
Grunts.
pure innocent youth um are hassling him like, "Oh, you're so scrawny. Like, why'd you
He's
revive him?" He's
well,
like,
he's tall and lanky, but he's muscular lanky.
yeah, yeah.
Like he's got
Um,
abs. He's got washboard abs.
yes, and he like immediately proves himself by beating them all to a pulp.
Ha.
And then Tsukasa is like showing him around their camp, and we see we get little glimpses of some characters that we may or may not meet in the future. Um, and Tsukasa is like sharing his ideals about how he wants to only revive the youth because if they revive the rich and powerful, they're just gonna take over and claim all the land, and he wants to start a utopia. Um,
Yoga. Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
exactly. Yep. Um, and Yoga, Yoga,
Hyoga.
um, Kyoga, uh, agrees with them. He's like, yes, that sounds like a great idea. And Gen is concerned. He's like, these guys are powerful
Yes,
and
they're charismatic too. That's the problem.
yep.
And
Yeah.
there was this girl we briefly saw. I think when she's named later, I'm pretty sure her name is Minami, but she was saying like, "Oh, I'm all for the new society that Tsukasa promised, and I was already a big fan of his before we got petrified too." So that kind of like proves the rapport he has with this. Like, I'm not saying Tsukasa is a bad leader because it seems like the village, his empire, is coming together under him.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is his ideals and what he stands for and what he's promoting, because they're gonna his people are gonna follow him because
Mm-hmm.
they've got nothing else. Um, I also, Minami also had a line that kind of, it was kind of funny to me, but she was like, "Oh yeah, back under the old system of doing things, I worked my butt off and even all that went to rent. I was basically a slave." And that is a very dire outlook on life. And it's really not true. Like if you want to see actual slavery, then you're far from it if you have a 9 to 5. And I know her job was reporter, so I think she'd be making a good amount to survive on, I'm pretty sure. But um the line she said about like everything going to rent really punched me in the gut. And it's like, "Ooh, yeah, I feel that."
Yep. And then we go back to the present where, Hyoga's just lost, but he's not too concerned because he has his right hand woman. I would say right hand man, but that's not correct. Um, she has like snuck up through like she swam up to the village and she's burning it. And so the village is destroyed and everyone goes to the science shed to get to safety. Um, Hyoga's army or Tsukusa's army, I guess, isn't done. They're like, we gotta finish them off now while they're all together. And Homura starts burning, like trying to burn the science shed. And uh, everybody's like very concerned. It's like we put all this effort in, we can't let this stuff get destroyed.
Yeah.
And Megan showed me the manga Senku's like fighting for his life trying to put out that fire. Um
He's carrying multiple things of water and just like his face is like pure anxiety.
yep, it's pretty great. If
But
I
I think it's kind of sweet though, because Ginro says something like, "Oh, Chrome worked his whole life to collect all that stuff, and
mm-hmm
like our whole society right now is built on what he and Senku have done." And I was like, "Oh, that's a very sweet way of looking at it. Like they they're looking at this all the stuff the boys have built up and their friends have joined them in doing, and they're like, there's no way we're gonna lose this now." So like
mm-hmm
it is a kingdom of science fully and truly.
yeah. And and Suika decides to take it into her own hands, and she's like, I'm gonna draw them away. And so she distracts the guys for the army, and they all follow her, and they're heading towards the um the sulfur lake, and there's like a storm coming in, and the wind is like picking up, and it's just the gas from the lake is that's is spreading, and Senku realizes this, and he and Kohaku rush to save Suika. It's so sweet because he's like usually he's so like weak. Like we always see him like so exhausted, but he's keeping up with Kohaku and like rushing to save Suika, and um they bring their gas masks, and Kohaku saves Suika, and what are Kyoga and I couldn't remember his name. Uh, Kyoga and Homura and the the army. It's like three guys, but um they also like climb up a tree, and Senku and Kohaku, because they have masks, they leave, and the army's trapped now. Um and this is where we see Hyoga's true colors, because I mean, you already can tell he's like not the best guy, but he is like, you know what? I don't like, he's like, I'm not sure that I think they're just making this up. And so he like kicks all the guys down to like test the air, and they all die.
Yeah.
Um,
Can we call the three guys the muscle mice, like from
the
Demon
muscle
Slayer?
from Demon Slayer. Well, now they're
Muscle,
dead, so
muscle
now we're not gonna talk about them anymore.
of mice and men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, they did kind of remind me of those mice. Except those mice
Yeah.
are good. Those guys
Those
were
mice
kind
are
of
awesome. These guys are
annoying.
not really great. They're
No.
what did they have to offer Tsukasa besides muscle? Like why did he they're not pure and innocent.
No. Like I don't.
I mean, you can count Gen. You can count Gen. He revived Gen, but Gen had suspicious behavior at
Yeah,
first.
again, is it's debatable whether he's pure and innocent. I would say no.
I would say he's pure-hearted, but he's not innocent.
No. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, so the Kingdom of Science has won. Yay. But they realize that they're in trouble because now Kyoga knows that Senku's alive, and they're
Yeah.
gonna report it to Tsukasa, and Tsukasa's gonna come and destroy them. Um, so Senku needs to plan for war. So Senku is like, we gotta, or really, actually, I think it's Kohaku that says it. They both kind of say that we need to attack first. Um, because if they come with all of their men, and also they're keep reviving more people, so the longer they wait, the more people that they'll have, and they'll just destroy them.
Yeah.
Um, so they need to attack first. And Senku has a plan for to win the war, and he's gonna make cell phones.
Yes. I love how when he was like, I'm gonna make the ultimate weapon that decides wars, and Gen's first initial thought was nukes. And
Mm-hmm.
Senku's just like, no, idiot. But he's right, because if you look back in history, the invention of like the two-way communication, like walkie-talkies, radios, things like that, those made a huge difference in warfare and everyday life, of course, too,
Mm-hmm.
but warfare especially. And I really like after Senku says cell phones in the manga, Gen goes, "That's beyond insane. Does this nutter have any idea what he's saying?"
Come on, Gen.
Uh,
You spent a reasonable amount of time around Senku. You know that he knows what he's about. Um,
yeah.
and Senku is like explaining what a cell phone is, and he's like, if we have a double agent in Tsukasa's, wait, what do they call his
Empire.
Tsukasa's empire? Yes. Um, then we'll be able to, win this. And everybody's like, we don't have who's gonna be the double agent? We don't have a double agent. And Senku's like, yes, we do. And then we see Yuzuriha and Taiju. They're gonna be back. I'm so
You know,
excited.
I just realized how close Yuzuriha and Taiju are to Izuha and Taiju.
Dude. Yeah. Okay, I kept forgetting her name. Yep. Yep. That's crazy actually.
For the
Um,
longest time though, I was calling Yuzuha Yuzuru, like from Silent
mm,
Voice, but it's Yuzuha. Yuzuriha, Yuzuha.
mm-hmm.
Anyway,
That's
that is
funny.
Sorry, roping in Tokyo Revengers again. More on that later.
Yep. Um, and I love like Senku brings him up and you can tell he's so excited. He's like thinking about that big oaf and he's like remembering Taiju to be like cell phone, smartphone, smartphone. Like
Oh,
he's that's all Taiju wanted. And now he's gonna get it.
yeah.
Uh, and then the episode ends. We see Hyoga reporting to Tsukasa that Senku's alive, and Tsukasa looks angry,
Dun dun dun. He always looks angry.
right?
Okay, so now that the episode's over, just there were two Mecha Senku Q&As from the manga. The first one, it looks like Suika's helmet changed. Is it a different breed of plant? So if you remember, her old helmet had like the crack going down one side, and I think over the left eye there was like an X shape. But this one, the leaf looks different, and the X is on top of her head. Senku says the first one was destroyed by magma during the grand bout, and that's why Senku and Kaseki made Suika a brand new helmet, for just that reason. The curled up leaf on top is key. When she aims it at a target, it acts as a parabolic reflector, meaning she'll be 10 billion% sure to eavesdrop on even whispered conversations. The perfect ability for great Detective Suika.
Okay,
Yes.
Loki, I never noticed that she got a new helmet.
I did only because of the X shape, but I never really paid attention to the leaf. I think it is more apparent in the manga though.
Mm.
Um, and then the second Mecha Senku Q&A, I think we briefly mentioned this one before, but it says, I'm a dog person, so I felt so bad for the dog in Volume 1 whose owner was petrified. What ended up happening to the pup? And Senku says, the little guy hung in there and stuck with his owner for a while, but in order to survive, it eventually tapped into its wild instincts. Dogs in similar situations form a pack, couple up, and begin breeding. The original dog never forgot its owner, but he did what it took to survive. Perhaps the descendants of the dog are still around 3,700 years later, and it shows Chalk, the dog, at the very bottom.
Mm,
Very
cute.
cute. Yep, and next up, we are going to introduce a another voice actor because we discovered a new character this episode, and that's Homura. Her full name is actually Homura Momiji, and she's played by Megan Shipman, who, in case you're wondering, has no relation whatsoever to Matt Shipman, who's Chrome's voice actor. Just a funny coincidence. But Megan played Anya Forger from Spy Family, Sasha Bross from Attack on Titan, and Gray from Black Clover, who is a very awesome character. Homura means fire, haha. And Momiji means red leaves. I think they're like those maple leaves, if I'm not
Mm,
mistaken. But that's kind of funny because her hair is really unique, but it kind of has like that flowery, leafy kind of look to it.
mm-hmm. And she's introduced by setting things on fire.
Yep. She's pretty. I mean pink
Mm-hmm.
hair. Obviously I'm kind of a stickler for like this show having different colored hair and not explaining why, but
Mm-hmm.
since we've got Senku as the main character with his weird hair, having a girl with pink hair is like, cool, yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And I I kind of like her outfit, kind of being that it definitely shows a little bit too much skin, but you can see where her cracks are, and they're like right on her, I don't know, like her hip bones.
Mm, that's cool.
Um, but I think I like it because she's got like the smaller, almost leotard looking outfit, which makes sense later. But then she's
Mm-hmm.
got the knee-high boots with it.
Yeah, I like her outfit for the most part. Um, she's a solid new character. Even though she's bad, she's
Yeah.
good.
She's also kind of a woman of few words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, the thing that we need to discuss,
Yes.
which is the making a cell phone. Like seriously, every single person that I know that has watched the show, every time they're like, "Oh yeah, it's so great." But then all of a sudden they're making cell phones and it's so like unrealistic and like I kind of stopped watching or whatever or like I didn't like it as much afterwards.
Witters.
Yeah, and it just like that bothers me because yes, okay, Senku says they're making cell phones. but they're not making cell phones. Like
Yes.
you see the end product, it's basically like if you've seen like those very first phones, that's
Yeah.
basically what it is. They're not making a
They
smartphone.
they kind of look like
And
the devices from the World War, was it World War One, where just field communicators. Um,
exactly,
we can't
exactly.
spoil, but you'll see. Uh, I've got some stories related to this. The first one being I was listening to a voice acting panel as I do when I'm drawing, and Aaron Dismuke actually addressed this, and he was like, Senku just likes to exaggerate. He likes to get excited. He likes to make people excited. So he says cell phones, but dude really means walkie-talkies. Um, and then my stories of like hearing people talk about this. So there was a time when Meg and I first started watching Dr. Stone. I went to the bookstore and just sat down in the cafe area, picked up a random volume, of something we had already seen, so I didn't get any spoilers. And I was just doodling and sketching in my sketchbook, trying to get Senku's look down because I really, really was getting into the art style at that point. And these two awesome people stopped by and were like, wow, that looks so good. And they started talking to me about manga and like series they like. And, if I like the show or not. I'm like, I'm really liking Dr. Stone. It's like so cool that it's scientific and they're trying to make it accurate. And the guy uh didn't know that I hadn't gotten to certain parts yet. And he's like, oh yeah, I really did like it, but I kind of dropped off if they started making cell phones. And I had to keep my face neutral, but my reaction was the what? But
Oopsie.
yeah, we found out later because it happens right away in season one, basically.
Mm,
But I was like, oh, that's what he meant. But I'm really curious to see how they do this. I don't know
mm,
how, but let's see. And then I was talking to a coworker back when I first started my job and about a year ago, and we were talking about the shows we like. She's like, "Have you watched Dr. Stone yet? I really, really like Dr. Stone. Have you watched it?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. I just it felt like educational programming to me though, so I didn't really get into it." And yeah, I stopped after he said they're making cell phones because how on earth? And I was like, "You gotta keep watching."
yeah, oh man. The thing is that like already we have seen like they literally it took them 6 months to make the sulfa drug and they like went through each step and they worked so hard. Like, do you think they're gonna like just be like, oh, now we got cell phones? No,
Magic genie, rub the lamp, give me a cell phone.
like things that's what I like about this show is that it's not like, oh, snap, now we've got what we need. No, they have to like put in the effort and we see like a significant amount of time
Yep,
pass. And
yep,
like I think like that's not okay. I do think that it would be harder than it looks to do it, but they still like they're still like putting in the time and effort. And like also there's something to be said about like um oh man, I don't remember what the term is, but like when you're watching something you like suspend belief
oh
too.
yeah, yeah.
Um like when you're watching a scene that's supposed to be like in total darkness, but
You
it's
have to see the
obviously lit
characters.
so that
Yeah,
you can see the characters. Like you suspend belief because it's about the story. It's not about like, oh, that would never happen. Like
yep.
it just and like to me, Dr. Stone, yes, it is about science and they do teach you things, but it's it's about the story. It's not
Yes, it
like
is. I think also it can be a little jarring when you first start it and you see all the things they're trying to make, but that's why we have characters like Gen, who when Senku says something, Gen's like, no, 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 wait, that's impossible. We can't do that, can we? And then you have the villagers who don't know, so you like they have to learn the basics of everything. So like
hmm
that rounds it out for you as the audience.
yeah. Yeah. So I don't really think them making quote unquote cell phones, not cell phones, basic communication devices. Like it shouldn't Like
Shouldn't
when
deter you
I
from watching the show.
yeah, it shouldn't deter you. And when I hear people say that it like when I hear people like say that it bothers them, like it I judge them a little bit. Like clearly you don't understand the show and you're just like it seems like you're just looking for reasons to stop watching it. Which if you don't like it, then quit. We don't need you
Don't you
in
want to
our
learn something?
right? We don't need you in our fandom. Um I'm just kidding.
Our
Actually, I
fandom's
would really
dying.
uh actually I was gonna say like if you I don't know if you're listening and like you really don't like this part of the story and like have a hard time believing it, like I would love to hear what you have to say
Yeah,
about it. But anyway, that is our little rant about that. Yes, okay, almost done. So well, we already mentioned Tokyo Revengers once, but we have okay, actually we didn't finish it because we're watching it dubbed and only the first two seasons are dubbed. So we finished the second season and we're gonna stop and hopefully they'll dub it eventually. If they don't, I will switch to the sub and just watch it
yeah,
because it's too good
yeah.
to quit. It would be so sad though. It would be so sad if they didn't dub it. Ugh.
And if I never finish it, I'm reading the manga.
Oh yeah. I mean, I
Why would
know
they?
that
It's so popular.
they're gonna finish it. They already, I looked it up and they're already like
Mm,
they're making a season four.
mm,
Um, it's just
good.
like the dubbing is the like we
Mm.
don't know exactly what's happening with that, and that has I think that has to do with like
Yeah, just,
Disney and Hulu and all that stuff.
let's not get into that
Um,
can of worms.
no, not right now. Uh, and then well, this was your pick, so why don't you?
Yeah. So I thought after Tokyo Revengers, it would be a good idea to check out Windbreaker, which is a newer series that kind of deals with similar themes of like that band of brothers and their delinquents, but this one has a twist. I kind of call it the Haikyuu of delinquent series because they're forming a team to do good together. It's very kind of like heartwarming in between them getting beat to a pulp. But I first saw the trailers for this and I thought the art style looked cool. And then I was starting to see the manga in bookstores and I thought, yeah, this is worth checking out. So at some point we'll probably compare the two and like the differences and like which one we like better, which I kind of know already which one we like better. It's, stay tuned. We'll be talking more about these.
Yeah, we may or may not be talking about it.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm. Yeah. Um, that's all we've got for the for the episode. Um, so Megan, what was your favorite line of the episode?
I gotta be careful with the pronunciation. Mine came from Senku when he absolutely roasted those guys. You guys can go back home and suckle on Mama Sukasa's teat. And in the manga, he said, like, go home to Mama Sukasa and get some milk or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, savage. Yeah, what was your favorite line, Meg?
Okay. Technically that one was my favorite line, but I picked something else. Just so we had different ones. I also came from Senku when he's um when Gen is questioning his ability to make a cell phone. He says, "Nothing is impossible, Gen. No matter how far off the goal may seem, if you follow the steps, you'll get there 10 million% of the time."
That gives me a lot of comfort, honestly.
So, what did we learn in this episode?
We learned that it's good to put yourself out there for your friends, and I'm referencing Suika because she took action and was like, I'm gonna be the bait because I can't let my friends' efforts go to waste and I'm gonna save my village.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And then who pushed the story forward?
Suika. You're basically saving the village.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. All right. That's all we've got for this. That's what we've got for this episode. Um, you can follow us on Instagram at the Anime Iceberg, or you can email us any questions or comments. And if you have anything to add to the cell phone debate, we would love to hear it. You can email us at the anime iceberg at gmail.com or also DM us on Instagram.
Yep. Thanks for
All right.
listening to Meg's coughing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Uh,
So
all
they
right.
understand.
All right. Bye.
Bye.